Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. After a very honest comment about the shakiness of the video quality, I decided that I will just use my tripod more often, even though it's a real pain. So hopefully everything is less jerky and more smooth. Today is going to be a quick update on our chicken and goat situation. Violet, stop it! Get off! No, Daisy! Oh my gosh! I'm trying to make a video. It's called video and you don't interrupt. No. As you can tell, the barn door is now able to be opened all the time, which is really good for the goats because then they can get hay and water in here and then free range outside as much as they want. And for a while we couldn't do that because we had the chickens in here too, and they would get out and possibly be eaten by that predator that we were having issues with before. Honestly, it's probably been long enough that whoever was eating the chickens before will have stopped or moved on or died or something. But just to be safe, I am taking a few more steps before we fully free range them all again. And many of those steps are going to be covered in this update video. First, I separated out the chicks. Oh dang, they knocked their food over, dang it. Anyways, the chicks from the adult or like almost adult chickens. The almost adults are now in the coop again, but these guys are in a barn stall turned into a little brooder thing. Thankfully, these guys are old enough that they don't need a heat lamp anymore, so I don't have to worry about that, but they still manage to mess up their food and water multiple times a day. And I'm dealing with a lot of escapes. Usually I found that rabbits are the most difficult animal to keep contained, but in this case it's turning out that little chicks are almost as bad as rabbits. At least this batch is. It looks like most of them have stayed in though, which is good. I've seen a few wandering around throughout the day, but thankfully they always come back here at night because they're so used to living in here, so they don't get lost or anything. But I worry that they're gonna get eaten by something because we haven't done the whole process yet, so that stinks. It's not that big a deal because most of the time they just stay close to the barn area, right near the dogs, and they don't wander out far into the woods like the adult chickens would. But I've been slowly adding protection. I added a board there to see if they're jumping out, and they clipped all their wings. And so every day I'm trying a new thing and seeing if that's the issue. So far, I haven't found the full issue, but I've stopped most of them from escaping, as you can tell. Then let's mosey on over to my super exciting new step. We're almost there to having all the chickens free range again. Ta-da! Look what I did! Isn't it beautiful? So we have a whole bunch of extra cattle panels. Oh, sorry for the wind, by the way. I'm trying to talk into the microphone thing so that you can hear me, but it's windy and there's nothing I can really do about that. We had a whole bunch of extra cattle panels that used to be for the meat rabbit pasture pen, but because the rabbits escape out of that, we haven't been using them. They've just been sitting around, and I was thinking about how chickens are easier to keep in something than rabbits, and I was thinking, hey, we have a whole bunch of cattle panel things that are chicken proof, so I set them up around this area. It's just a small little section, and then a small little section over there, and now we can have the chickens get used to the coop and not be stuck inside that tiny coop. It's not super tiny, but we have so many birds that it'd be way too small if we just locked them in the coop. So they need an outdoor run area, but one, they need to be able to not be free range, because if they were free range right away, they would just go back into the barn because they've been living there for so long. They would roost there every night, and honestly, having that much chicken poop getting into the goat stuff and being on our dirt floor that I sweep all the time is much worse than having them in the coop that's meant for chickens, meant for chicken poop, and ideally where we want them to be. So this temporary setup, while not the best, is number one, getting them used to living in the coop again, and also protecting them from most predators as well. So we have a little bit more time to get everything ready for them to be free ranging again. Most of the predators I've seen have been from this area in the field. Oh, this is the field, by the way, with like the fence and stuff. Down from there, and also over here, right by the orchard. So I've been spending a long time, this is kind of gross, but I think this is the best thing I can do at this point, taking pee, like human pee. We've been collecting it, and I put it in a squirt bottle, and then just walk around this area along the fence line, and just like in amongst the grass and stuff, and have this little squirt bottle and squirt human pee everywhere, hoping that that's going to deter some of the animals. Ideally, we would like mow everywhere, and I did do a little bit, but then my wrist started to flare up again. As some of you might remember that in the past I've had to wear a wrist brace because my right wrist is really weak. So while I don't have to wear a brace anymore, it still bothers me if I use it too much. So having a weed whacker and it being so heavy and like the jerky, jiggly motion of a weed whacker was just too much. So honestly, at this point, if I don't do it, nobody's gonna do it. We have so many projects that I can't do alone, and so little opportunity for our entire family to be free and available to help with the project, that I'm having to take like tiny bite-sized pieces every like week or two instead of like all day every day like I would really prefer. But that's just the reality at this point, so I'm just going to do this pea spraying and walk the dogs around. I've been doing that not as regularly as I should be, but more than I have in the past, so I guess it's better than nothing. So with keeping the chickens not free ranging for a while to get whoever was eating them out of the habit, also give them a chance to move locations or die off, as well as increasing the frequency with which our livestock guardian dogs are roaming the property, marking their scent around, and spraying human pee, so a lot of dog pee, a lot of human pee, everywhere to mark territory. I'm very hopeful and pretty confident that our chickens will be safe whenever in a week or two they have adjusted back to living in the coop and are allowed to free range again. Oh, it's so windy, oh my gosh! Ugh, not good for filming. Okay, let's go back to the barn where it's a bit less windy. Okay, this is much better. So, slowly but surely, all of the problems I was working to fix are being fixed. The rabbits are out of the tractors, the goats are free range, the chickens are almost free range. Of course, as you know, we have a whole new set of problems that I have to fix, but the used to be most recent set are no longer problems. All the animals are much happier, healthier, and more prepared for a cold winter, though it's not been that cold so far. And my stress level has gone down, as well as my animal chore time. It literally took me only 12 minutes to do the entire animal chores this morning, which is crazy. I started at 7 o'clock, or even like a little after, and then ended at 7:12, so like 10 minutes. Granted, it has been too warm lately for the waters to freeze, so that will add a good bit of time whenever, as the winter progresses, it gets colder. But for now, I'm really happy, the animals are really happy, and hopefully you guys are happy with a less jiggly camera. I have a tripod that's not meant for this phone camera, and I'm so sorry that this stupid phone is so blurry and yucky. I have very limited funds, and right now I have a big project that needs most of the money I make off of YouTube. So at this point, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy a really nice high quality camera like the last one I had. But maybe I can make your viewing experience a bit better with keeping things less shaky. Thanks for watching! You guys, the work never really ends. It just keeps going. Make a video, edit a video. Make a video, edit a video. It just never ends. Good thing I enjoy it.